Hey, everybody, welcome back to Shop Talk. Today, I want to talk about actually our new upcoming series in the church, and that is going to be Is the Story of Blank Believable? And so, we're going to start this week off actually with Is the Story of Creation Believable? And I love this topic. I can't wait to hear it. So, please come join us. I think it's going to be really interesting. But I thought on those lines, why don't we talk about creation? Why don't we talk a little bit about it? So there's plenty of disagreements even within the Christian community as to the story of creation. Is it 6 literal days? Is it more along the lines of what Peter says to the Lord, a day is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is like a day? So is the earth young? Is it old? And so that's what I want to talk about. And I think there's different arguments to different things. Of course we're gonna be different from the world, so I kind of will stay away from that, but they are at least agreeing with us that hey, the universe did have a beginning, which that's a step in the right direction. But amongst Christians, some people believe that the earth was created in 6 literal days, and it's a very young earth. It's around 6,000 years old, and others believe that it is still millions or billions of years old, and God just was behind all of that. And then there's kind of, if you want to call it, more of a middle approach, which I suppose I would fall more in that category, is the fact that I do think it was created in 6 literal days, but I think just like Adam was created completely an adult man, that the earth was created completely full, ready to go with all the resources that are needed for life, especially intelligent life, especially us. And so, but what I actually want to go to is not a story in Genesis from the creation account. I want to take a look at Job because I think this is important. So in Job, of course, we've got Job has had all of these terrible things happen to him, and he doesn't have his kids anymore. His livestock's gone. His friends are turning on him. His health is gone, and so he's frustrated. And ultimately, the Lord ends up answering him. And this is what he says to Job in his somewhat, to us, understandable reason of why he's crying out to God, questioning what is going on. And this is what God says to him. He says, "Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me, if you possess understanding, who set its measurements, if you know, or who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its bases set, or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang in chorus, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Who shut up the sea with doors when it burst forth, coming out of the womb? When I made the storm clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band. When I prescribed its limits, and set in place its bolts and doors. When I said, to here you may come, and no farther, here your proud waves will be confined. Have you ever in your life commanded the morning or made the dawn know its place, that it might seize the corners of the earth and shake the wicked out of it?" So look, I think right there is something important to realize is we weren't there. We can argue about these things, and they're very interesting and fun to talk about, but ultimately we weren't there. And God is pointing that out to Job, like, you questioned me, but you weren't here. He goes on to talk about the behemoth and the Leviathan, and it's God's creation that we get to enjoy that is so amazing, so immense, so intricate, all the little details, all the perfections that we can never recreate perfectly. We weren't there for it. And so it's fun to talk about, but rather than yell at each other about it or severely think somebody's crazy because they might believe this or believe that, it's not a salvation issue. It's an interesting issue, but as God told Job, where were you when he laid the foundations? I know I wasn't there, and I know you weren't either. So it's just something I think we should all keep in mind. So again, I would highly encourage you to come to Northfield and join us for this new series. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. We have services at 9 and 10:30, and soon I believe maybe next week on the 16th. I could have that date wrong, so you have to double check. But we're going to actually add a 5 o'clock service on Sunday night. So, but come check that out. Is the story of ... believable this week? Is the story of creation believable? So come check it out, join us, and as always, stay salty and be kind, my friends.